Hi guys, I've got an Aries new moon transmission. Um, so far we've got the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus in the sign of Aries. We've got the new moon happening in a few hours. Let's see what messages I have for you. I think this is pretty much irrespective of what sign you are. I think this is just a transmission. So if you're here, welcome. This new moon is about 22 degrees in Aries. Bottom of the deck. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the World card. Do we have those? Okay. The Knight of Wands, Aries energy, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury. This is very much a new beginning, very much starting again, very much rising and healing and searching. When I think of Aries, I always think of Mars. It makes me think of going to war. I feel with this new moon, a lot of us are going to war, I feel, with our own personal battles, whatever they might be. And I feel as if with the night, with it being the night, it's almost as if you're at this point where you are evolving, leveling up, upgrading, stepping up. It's a fortunate time for you, Wheel of Fortune, and it seems as if the winds are about to change and luck's about to get a lot better. The World card is something coming full circle. It is a decision to tie up through, focus, determination, through really channeling into the self. Let's keep shuffling. I feel like a lot of the energy is about going to war with whatever this personal battle is that you might have been fighting, and knowing that the Wheel of Fortune here is, yes, it's sort of destiny or fate or the universe, God stepping in and giving you that good luck. But that good luck is kind of a state of mind. So I wonder where it is that you might need to change up your mindset. The World card is kind of like a wake-up call of how important it is to redirect the attention really towards yourself. Strength. Are you showing strength? Are you showing the authority? Are you being steady? Are you being stable? Is the power there? Are you feeling protected? The Five of Cups. Let me just adjust the cards. The energy is very much of very focused on what's gone, what hasn't worked, the failure, the disaster, all of the possibilities of the things that can go wrong, like very focused on what could go wrong, basically. Very, very heavily focused on what has gone wrong, what is wrong, all the things that could go wrong. And it would just really serve you to take a look at what's right and kind of use that as a starting point. Start of kind of changing up your mind frame, changing up your perspective, and understanding that if you're in a pit and you focus really heavily on all of the things that are wrong, until you don't redirect that energy towards what is right, you're not really going to channel into the flow of letting things work out or be right. This Aries energy is really gung ho, and it is about war and overcoming your enemies and overcoming obstructions. It's very powerful. You know, it's full of a lot of authority and steadiness. There's moral integrity and like a really firm will. This is the energy of protection. It is sexual kundalini energy. Do you know what I mean? It's like fruitful power. And this is the energy of being able to at least tap into that. And I feel as if this new moon is almost trying to dig for that, right? And it's like this Five of Cups, whatever this, really not being able to channel into all of the right things, all of the things that are going right, but very heavily and intently focused on what's wrong, what could go wrong, what has been going wrong. It's kind of stagnated or poisoned the rest of the tank. Do you know what I mean? The cups were very obviously full of poison, but the thing is, you've got to be very aware of the fact that there's just too much moving forward energy for anyone to be too caught up still in the past. And if you're really operating from a place of all of the possibilities of what could go wrong or what has gone wrong, then that's just energetic work, really, isn't it? The message has to be, don't be reluctant or don't be lazy on the self-care. Don't be lazy about the work. Don't be avoidant. About the discipline and the necessary need for discipline, especially when it comes to turning all of that power into victory. Especially when it comes to like really knowing your direction and really knowing what it is that you have to do and all of the things that you kind of have to be about in order to progress on this journey, to proceed forward in a way that means that you're not caught up on what could go wrong. You're focused very intently on what you want, and you're kind of steering a path that might feel like it's based on a whim and a prayer, but you know what? At this point with the Wheel of Fortune and the World card, I don't even think there's any reason for you to doubt yourself. I just think you need to stop and really get a rest. Really get a bit of faith that everything will freaking sort itself out. And the more you try and control it, and the more you feel like you have to control every single bit of it, the more you'll feel like this Five of Cups, like very focused on all of the shit that's wrong. And if you give yourself half a chance, I'm sure any one of us could find 1,001 things that are wrong. But it's so not about that. It's about focusing on the win, the Emperor energy. You know, this new moon is very much the archetype of the Emperor. And the Emperor is that power and that conviction, you know, the confrontation, the sheer strength, you know, it's material wealth. It's sexual energy. It's I don't know. It's authority. It's a lot of power. And this reading is kind of like you're setting off on this journey for victory, and you've got the luck behind you, and you've got the possibility of creating whatever this new world is for yourself. But unless the personal desire is not strong enough, and unless the discipline is not in place, and unless you're not willing to put yourself on the line and actually step away from like the facades that are being presented to you, or the easy answers, or the things that one does to distract themselves from actually being really present. And the Four of Swords for me is almost like unplugging out of the matrix, because you're somehow needed to resolve this like inner feeling of just loss, like this deep feeling of perhaps instability or failure, or I don't know, foolishness, or something that just really needed to be overcome, and so you've been given this time now where it's like, okay, go forward, go, proceed, you'll win, go, just make sure the power's there, make sure the conviction's there. But then there's this like this reluctance, this real avoidant of the responsibilities energy of just staying stagnant and just willfully choosing to stay at a lower vibration because the ego loves the drama, whereas the soul needs its consciousness to be evolving. And it's almost as if the Four of Swords is like your body is almost screaming like, okay, hold on, take a break, slow down, catch up, listen to yourself. But it's like the ego that's kind of distracting you with this Five of Cups, like, oh, everything is wrong, and this is wrong, and that's wrong, and this is bad, and la 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 la. The ego and the mind, it's you guys got to read that book, Chimp Paradox. I always recommend it to people. I totally recommend it. I read it at least once a year, and I greatly recommend everybody else does. That's the Chimp Paradox. So this new moon, it is ushering in some sort of victory if you're open to it. If you're in the mood to overcome the hard bits. They could be a really, really nice rediscovered piece that might come from a bit of a necessary transformation of like being really woe is me, to doing the necessary self-work, to stepping into this victory, whatever it is. You are coming into quite a fortunate time. The Wheel of Fortune is genuinely ushering in a change of the mood or what's been going on. And it may well be that the World card means that you're finishing off one cycle, and through a bit of, putting yourself at the center and redirecting your focus, kind of really getting mindful about what's been going on with you. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Oh, and the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful energy. Oh, and the Queen of Cups. Oh, and the King of Swords. It's a royal flush down here. Listen, you're really in your head. This new moon is kind of about not needing to put on the front. If there's power that's to be felt, it's got to be felt deep within you. And unless the conviction's not 100% there, it's just like you're kind of lying to yourself. And that's never healthy. No. There does need to be some sort of confrontation, though, about your levels of faith. If this defensive energy has been exhausting, There's inner conflicts, there's this doubt, this self-doubt, the paranoia, whatever it is, the need to have your guard up. That kind of stuff, I always say, it's like burning the candle at both ends. It's kind of high vibration. No, it's kind of high voltage, It'll fuse. You'll burn out real quick. If that goes on for too long, it turns into not such nice stuff. Take that seriously. The fact that your defenses are really, really up. And that's really high voltage. And it's so draining. King of Swords. Let's clear these messages now, huh? There's 3 characters here that have come up for this new moon that need a bit of perhaps clarification. I'm not sure, but let's see where we go with these messages. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. What a trio, huh? It seems as if there are people around to help at the moment, and it also feels as if the potential to really increase finances is going to be fantastic post this new moon even. Emotional intelligence, being really content with being present and just being, as opposed to having to overdo and overexert. The Queen of Pentacles is naturally quite abundant, and it would mean having an abundant mindset and being quite organized and punctual and mindful. And the King of Swords is energy of being really quite diligent, due diligent perhaps. It is the energy of action, and it is also the energy of, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. There's a need for a bit of there's a need for honest communication that's emotionally intelligent, but it's also very present. It's very mindful of what's happening presently. A lot of need, I feel, for people to really get present with what's happening. Emotional intelligence will kind of carry you through this new moon, as well as trying to put yourself in a natural, abundance mindset. And I say that natural, but there's a way that it is natural. Otherwise, it's always fake, and it kind of brings on more of a lack mentality. But the King of Swords is due diligence. And there is a need for due diligence. And the Nine of Cups was at the bottom of the deck, so it probably means that there's a need for due diligence in regards to your personal contentment. There are certain cups that need tending to, certain wounds that need tending to, certain things that need tending to, and this new moon has to be the time that you kind of sit yourself right at the center of all of it. Count your blessings for sure. See how far you've come since the beginning of the year. Really pick yourself up. Life isn't as bad as it might seem, and if you let yourself feel it all the way through, I'm sure you'll find that there's plenty to be grateful for. And because there you are, sat in the middle of all of these achievements. And whilst there's a lot going on, those cups are still very much full. And there's a lot to be had from that. The blessings are endless. There's a lot to be grateful for. The lack mindset, the lack mentality is perhaps unjustified. All it is a redirection of your energy back to the self, back to getting aligned, perhaps getting the chakras realigned with maybe singing bowls. That might be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I think singing bowls for this new moon. I was going to say shamanic drums, but I think that was more the Libra full moon. This one, I think, xylophones even. Xylophones is a good one for this new moon. High voltage. High notes. High energy. Strength. Yeah? A firm will. The kind of power that's very deep-seated, very deep-rooted. Not the kind of, whimsical, hey, 1 minute, go on the next kind of power. This is deep-rooted, firm will. You are protected, but there's a lot of protection of self that needs doing. And I would strongly suggest you protect the things around you if they're precious to you. Protect what's precious to you, always. Step up your game with the self-care. There's a solution to material problems as well as a solution to emotional issues. Find your soul. Yeah. Spend some time with your soul this new moon. I think that's all I have, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to book a reading, visit www.rubyreadstarot.com. Leave the video a thumbs up for me. Subscribe, follow, and share with your mates. And I guess I'll catch you around later. Enjoy this new moon, huh? Take care of yourselves, and I will speak to you all again soon.